Hey guys, welcome to creatingtracks.com, and in this series, this is what we have done so far. And we're gonna make an audio effects track like this. Alright, so really cool stuff, and what we have this time, I'm going to delete this audio effects rack that I've made so we can start all over again. So I just have a sidechain compressor on this group, and we have these 3 ARPs that we've made, and in this group track, I have one sidechain compressor, and let's grab an EQ, place it before this sidechain compressor, and we'll fix some of these frequencies. So there isn't much low information here, but I'm still going to put a low cut just so it clears up our low end for our overall mix. So what I'm going to do is clear some of these frequencies by increasing the Q, finding the peaks that I don't like, and then reducing those. So I don't like this frequency, so I'm going to bring down the gain a little bit. And same thing in the lower mids, so I'm going to bring down this frequency. And let's remove some of this high information as well. Alright, so sounds alright so far. Let's add a ping pong delay, and we will bring down the feedback to about 30% and the dry wet to about 20%, and let's see. So just fills up the width, the stereo imaging a little more, not too intense of an effect. And then let's grab a saturator before the ping pong delay. We'll increase the gain to about 5 dB and grab a medium curve and turn on the soft clip and bring down the dry wet. So I'll change it to 35, 40, 35. So it makes it a little more fatter. Now let's grab a compressor and we'll drag this right after our ping pong delay before the sidechain, increase the ratio a little bit, and we'll make the attack quite high and the release also close to 200, and then we'll play with the threshold. And we want very little gain reduction, so check it out. And we'll bring down this output level to match it with the input levels. Alright, so now let's select the EQ and shift select our compressor, and we'll do Command G or Control G or Edit and Group, and that gives you an audio effects rack with these 3 buttons on the side, and you can see we've created these macros that are empty. So what we want to do is we want to control some of these parameters of our effects with this macro. So let's right click on the dry wet, map to macro 1, then we'll click on this map, and I want the minimum value of my dry wet to be 20%. So when the macro is at 0, my dry wet should be at 20%. So you can see over here it's at 20% and the macro is at 0. So let's check this out. Alright, so let's go to the audio effects rack folder, and we'll grab the Performance in DJ knob 1 fade to gray, and we'll drag it right after our audio effect rack over here. So now we have this effect. Alright, so the only problem here right now is that if I right click on this knob, I don't have a map to macro. So for that, I have to pick this whole folder up and drag this inside of our audio effects rack. So right after the compressor, and now if I right click, you can see we have map to macro. So I'll map it to macro 2, and we have macro 2 over here, controlling fade to gray. Now let's go ahead and grab Super Looper, and we'll place that right after the fade to gray, so inside of our audio effects rack. And let's open both of these up, and we can see we have our looper and our dry effect. And we'll click on this chain, and what this chain is showing us that when we move this knob, by this point our dry signal has completely faded out and our wet signal for the looper has kicked in. So what we want to do is drag this a little longer so our dry and wet signals are both playing together. And this way, alright, so now we just have to map this to our first macro, which is now called dry wet. And now that first macro will control our ping pong delay and the super looper. Alright, so now you can see how cool this effect can sound with your whole beat. Alright, so if you enjoyed this tutorial, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe to our channel for a lot more. And we will see you next time. Peace.